welcome to another episode of The Marital Mission. I am your host, Shamika McDowell.
I'm the other guy, Lito McDowell.
And we are The Marital Mission.
What up, family?
We are back at it. And this week's episode is going to be much lighter. But I think it's something that everybody can relate to in some form or fashion, whether you're married or not, especially in today's age.
Can't get away from it.
Yeah, it's everywhere. And we're talking about social media.
Dun, dun, dun.
The blessing and the curse.
Yeah, however you choose to use it.
Yeah, like with anything, you know.
Yeah, to me, it's just a microcosm. Is that used right? Microcosm of your real life.
Is it? It can be.
I mean, that's what it is.
Or it cannot be.
Can't be fake in person and then real on social media.
We'll dive into it, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Cause see, this is one of those topics that I have a lot of opinions on.
Really?
And a lot of my opinions are unique to me.
I'm interested in hearing these said unique opinions.
I'm sure we'll have some colorful conversation.
Oh, goodness. Y'all might be in for a real treat this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to keep it light. But there's some heavy things that come along with this, especially in dealing with relationships and social media. It can get dicey, but nothing as heavy as last episode. So,
we got to do what we got to do.
Hey,
this is real life.
We're here on purpose.
Shout out to your boy.
If you remember College Hill on BET.
It's real life.
So you ready to get into it?
Let's go.
Okay. So social media.
Yep. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat.
What is it? What'd you say? Snack chat?
Snapchat.
Oh, I thought you said snack chat.
Ooh.
What?
You didn't know about that one.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't catch
Just
that.
Naming the different platforms out there.
Okay. MySpace.
Black Planet.
Ooh, throwback.
I think they're supposed to be bringing it back.
I thought they brought it back already.
Brought, it's in the process.
However you choose to consume your social media, when it comes to your relationships, there are some do's and don'ts. There's some wills and some won'ts.
Yeah, message boards still kicking out here.
Yeah, Reddit. I was about to say, what message boards? But Reddit.
A whole bunch of message boards. So, I guess we are going to be talking about the pluses, the minuses, the dangers, all that good stuff. So, Do
you want to start with the pluses or?
It don't matter.
So let's get into the positives of social media. So you can reach out and touch.
We would not have met each other had it not been for social media.
That is true. How did we meet?
I was looking for...
I didn't say all of that. How did we meet?
There was a sparkle in my eye. We met on MySpace.
Yeah. That's how old we are.
Yeah.
When MySpace was the thing, like right before Facebook really hit and took off.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I think you still needed a college email address.
How old it was
to get on Facebook at the time.
It was only for college people. And then
you use it for what you want to get out of it.
Yeah, back then it was carefree. We didn't know what we were doing. We were
younger too.
Yeah, just in general, like social media was new and really it was kind of new.
I got on Black Planet when I was in high school.
But I'm saying like the format that it's in, like present day, Like Facebook, I think Facebook changed the game.
It did. It did because it brought different audiences together.
Right.
You had people, parents and grandparents on Facebook.
Right.
After a certain period of time. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that way on Black Planet.
That's what I'm saying. Like
MySpace.
As we know it today, like Facebook kind of kicked it off where, you know, you could put your thoughts and opinions out there and people would readily see it instead of them having to be like your friends or anything to see it. They're your top 5.
It definitely evolved over time.
Yeah. So that's
or devolved, however you want to look at it.
Yeah. It goes back to the chicken and the egg and the blessing and the curse.
But at the same time, that's why I say it's however you, if you're representing yourself as someone who you're not, then.
People do that in real life. I think it amplifies it. It gives people.
Then you fake.
It gives people permission to be a little bit more
fake.
I was going to say it nicer than that. Uninhibited.
That is too nice of a word.
That's not true. I mean,
it's true for some cases, but people are fake. Every day you read somewhere where people are throwing like slugs. Y'all act like we don't know y'all in real life. It's because people out there faking.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
So with regards to...
We're supposed to be talking about the positives. That's not a positive.
Get into it. Let's get into it.
Okay, so it allows us to connect with others.
Correct.
It allows us to, from a relationship standpoint, like actual romantic standpoint, you get to meet other like-minded people, maybe a little bit easier than you would in your everyday life. I don't know. It's something about being out in the world after college that is harder to meet people, unless you're just like one of those social butterflies and you're active in, you know, so many organizations. Unless you are doing a lot, I guess, or depending on what you're doing, it can be harder to meet people.
The world has changed how social gatherings are held and approached in this day and age. Mm-hmm. I don't know this from experience, but from what I hear, you know, you go to these events and people are on their phones, and it may be you go to a.
We are talking about the positives.
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You go to just say it's a party, right? Mm-hmm. Back in what 2002, 2003, people weren't on their cell phones at a party.
Right. You were actually enjoying yourselves, and people danced.
So I did dance back in those days.
Mm-hmm. Don't act like one of our songs didn't come on and you weren't on.
No, I take that back. I didn't dance. I boogied. It's a difference.
Okay, Fat Joe, lean back.
Nah.
Did your 2-step?
Did a little 2-step.
Like Youngbloods?
Might do a little grind. Might Josephine Johnny. That's about the extent of it.
Look that up if you don't know who that is. Josephine Johnny.
I never bunny hopped though.
Funny story about that. One of the podcasts I listened to, they were talking about the different bunny hops. And I was like, there's only one true one. The Entourage.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
not the Atlanta one. No shade Atlanta.
Shade Atlanta. Yeah, I digress. So now in today's time, you're at a party. People who are at the party are meeting each other on social media.
Yeah.
You know, they're communicating via, like, before they go up and interact.
So we didn't even get into that, like Tinder. We don't know anything about that.
I don't know nothing about Tinder, so
better not.
I can't speak to that.
You better not know anything about it.
Nah.
And swiping left or right, I don't even know which one is the correct thing to do if you like them.
But the latest thing I did was Black People Meet. Mm-hmm. And I think I may have paid for a month on there.
You actually paid?
Yeah. Because I mean, this one I had moved back to Dallas and I was working 6, 7 days a week. I wasn't going out, and so trying to meet people, and that you remember that I sent you that picture, that person I thought was you.
I don't know how, but again, you digress. That was his slick way of trying to finagle himself back into my existence.
I never left your existence.
Ooh. Anywho, other positives.
Other positives.
It allows people to see if you're married and you're happily married and you're posting your happy married pictures. It can give others hope.
Definitely.
I think that's a positive. Even if you're not married, if you're in a happy relationship and it's healthy.
You get to see success stories. You get to see stories of overcoming things. Just recently.
And we're not talking about those long soliloquies of this my king and this my queen. And people know real from fake. And when it's real, you don't have to say too much.
Everybody don't know real from fake, though.
That is true.
I mean, it's a lot of people out here that's enamored with
the lie.
The lie. But we've been told a lie ever since we could remember. You know, you look at Beauty and the Beast and you look at, all these love stories presented in fairy tales, and that's really what it is, a fairy tale. Then you look at all the movies that you can remember, and
if it doesn't live up to that, then you start wondering what's wrong with you, or why isn't it up to snuff, and
you cycle through relationships thinking there's something wrong with the other person because they're not providing this euphoria
that is true.
So, but you do get to see that. Like, I think I woke up last night and just began to follow some couples who are kind of sharing their success stories for financial independence and paying off debt and that type of thing. That's kind of the space that we're in right now. So, you guys will probably be hearing more of us and seeing more of us kind of giving some financial tidbits and just kind of sharing our journey, because we are not just starting the journey, but we're setting some new goals for ourselves.
Yeah, I think we were never in just a bunch of debt.
No, not compared to, I say, the average couple our age.
But we have a little bit that we trying to get rid of as soon as.
Yeah.
But that's another discussion for another day.
Yeah, true. But I just kind of want to throw that out there because, our marriage flows and goes ups and downs, and we have different things that we focus on in different times, right? We had our traveling time and we shared that with you guys via social media. So, you may not see it. If you don't see us outside of the country.
Yeah.
It is summertime, and I know a lot of people ask, about our travels.
Yeah.
We are.
Typically, we would be in the air somewhere.
Yeah.
But
I'm in the air because I saved $4 when I went to Kroger today. It was a big old box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch for originally $5, but they had it on sale for $3.50.
We are off on a tangent, my man.
Yeah, we are.
How did we get here?
Hey. So I was just saying how I follow now other couples who are sharing their stories, and that's something that you wouldn't have been able to do unless you read it in a magazine, you saw them on some type of news,
or you knew
story, or you knew them personally.
Yeah.
So social media has a bunch of positives if you're looking for positive things.
Yeah. And that's with anything.
So that's why I say that I'm of the firm belief that social media is just going to be an extension of your real life.
Yeah, it's like money. It's going to amplify the best and the worst of you. It can.
It can, definitely.
So then another thing is that it can offer another level of intimacy with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even thinking that, but you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Sexting is a thing, but even on a higher frequency,
Yeah.
it gives you the opportunity, if you can't say or you want to prep for a conversation that needs to be had in your relationship and you don't know quite how to put it in words, you can write it out on your phone and
Yeah.
say, hey, I really want to talk about these points. Let's sit down and discuss it later. And I think that is a great method of using social media. Maybe, and I don't know, I mean, you don't have to use social media, but if you feel comfortable in that space and you DM your spouse, or DM, if you don't know, is direct messaging your spouse. And if that's your thing, of course, you can always text.
And there are privacy settings that you could utilize if
Yeah.
you guys did not know that. You don't have to share everything with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You can limit it. You can send something. You can post something where only your spouse can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, your family or a certain group of friends or business contacts. So,
Or even tools like GroupMe, if you create, like, for instance, I know you have a group with some of your homeboys and, they're either married or they're getting married. And if you are just needing to vent or get some advice on something really quickly, and, you can't get together because, we're all leading our adult lives, married lives.
hold on. Let's talk to that real quick. I want to know from you guys. It seems like when I hit 35, like all my conversations are about adulting now. I just thought about this in the car the other day. Like every time I call one of my friends, it's like real conversations. Now maybe I'm just late to the game. That might be it. But we talking about interest rates and property and
it's also, we got
babies.
married before a lot of people, right? In our
circle.
Yeah. We got married before then. So we already had the house.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no babies yet.
Yeah.
But, so we've been kind of doing our thing. We've had the budgeting talks and the stocks and bonds conversations over the years, just between the two of us, because it's just been the two of us.
True.
But now that, pretty much the majority of our friends are married with kids.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the conversation is,
I guess so,
shifting.
I didn't take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Because the conversations with my then single friends were different. Mm-hmm. I had to connect with them on a different level. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
That's why.
All right.
So back to
the intimacy.
Yeah. And then even to the community that it can bring.
Yeah.
Amongst married people.
Yeah.
To seek advice and give advice.
Right. A lot of people share their, engagement or baby announcements or gender reveals and paying off debt or graduation. So it's a lot of good that comes from
parenting.
And even like I'd say the majority of my Facebook friends are family. Mm-hmm. Most of them are distant relatives. Mm-hmm. When I mean distant as far as, not first cousins.
Yeah.
On Instagram, I have a different kind of community. So it's just, different. It's different ways to connect with people that you'd have to make extra efforts to connect with otherwise.
Right. Any other positives?
Plenty, but I'd say let's try to shift our focus.
Okay. So the dangers. Booty, 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 booty rocking everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on Instagram. There's a lot of eye candy out there.
Yeah. And again, for me, I think that's a danger if that's one of your weaknesses or that's something that you seek out.
Let's get into that because often ladies are told, or we hear, that men are very visual. They're very much so drawn to the physical.
True.
So as a married man, how do you deal with that? How do you cope with that? Is that an issue for you?
I've come to realize that I am visual.
Mm-hmm.
I am drawn to it per se. Like, I guess in a sense that I like what I like.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've spoken about this before. I had a issue of feeling like I needed to not miss the beauty that passed me by in real life.
Mm-hmm. In other words, he would check out the backside of any woman.
Yeah.
As she passed him by.
Yeah. And so I'm definitely not there anymore because, I learned that it's disrespectful to you as my wife. It's disrespectful to the women. Well, some of the women.
Why some?
Because some want that attention.
That's a whole other conversation. Let's not go there.
I mean, we don't have to. But at the same time, though, I still see beauty in women.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't beat myself up for that anymore. Because it's like, okay, I can see a beautiful woman and acknowledge that she's beautiful, and that be it. So same thing for people on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You scrolling, you see somebody that looks nice. Hey,
do you like it?
Not just off of beauty alone. Like if it's artistic in nature, or if it's
let's break down this artistic. Okay. So I take issue with like a lot. Well, I've noticed that a lot of quote unquote woke pages and websites, they oftentimes, like a lot of times, feature women naked.
Yeah. And men.
I see more so women than men.
Yeah, definitely more so women, but men too. Men
too, but definitely women. And I'm always like, do we always have to be naked to be beautiful?
Yeah.
That has always bothered me. It's like, oh, we have to be, have this kind of curvature in our back, naked.
Yeah.
With locks and a fro.
Yeah.
To be dripping in melanin. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that has to do with the pro-black message, but okay.
So I was going to speak to that.
Okay.
Particularly dealing with the locks. Mm-hmm. So when I had my locks, I followed certain pages that were geared toward that. And there may have been a beautiful woman. Mm-hmm. And she may have had some nice locks. Mm-hmm. I would not like her picture because she was beautiful. Mm-hmm. But, if I like her locks just like I like the next person's locks, I would like the picture. There are certain fitness, now that's a whole other.
That is a whole other thing. The squats and the.
Yeah. And so, right, that I'll even send you some videos because outside of, this woman is shapely, I can see the benefit in that exercise. Mm-hmm. So I'll send it to you and say, hey, this might be a cool exercise or whatever. Mm-hmm. And sometimes there are women who will do exercises that I want to try when I go to the gym. Mm-hmm. So I'll save that video or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, I think.
So it's the intention behind the like.
Yeah, I think so. I try to post of people who are sharing something of value, what I feel is value. Mm-hmm. So if I feel like, someone is posting their picture of their spouse and they're kind of bigging up their spouse, I'm going to like that. Mm-hmm. I might not even take the time to read all of it, but I'll like it. Mm-hmm. Somebody in my family is doing some type of business, I try to like it. You know, so I try to be purposeful in liking because it takes nothing to like. But if it's a woman that's seeking attention strictly on her body or, you know, something like that, like now facial, like I'll like that. I wouldn't say all the time, but now I'm talking about natural. Like
Why
if
just
it
natural?
you know, me and makeup. I'm just natural. I like natural hair. Like I like natural hair. Pictures, natural, like, you know, because people need that encouragement. Like I feel like we need more naturalness in this world.
Yeah.
So if somebody's trying to, you know, put that out there and push that agenda, then I support that.
Okay.
Like if it's a business, you know, sometimes women who are in the business world, they still have a certain fashion sense. So, you know, I try to be respectful to you as much as possible because I know we've discussed it at some point. You never told me like not to like pictures because I never really liked a lot of pictures like that. I don't think I did. But I think so. Do you? Because, you know, on Instagram, you can look at who your friends, like pictures they've liked. Like, do you look at that?
You can look at what other people
Like
are liking.
people that are friends or that you follow. You can look at the pictures that they
liked
and like pages they follow.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And I'm like in the marketing world. Wow.
Yep.
I have never been so pressed to see that.
Hey, and I don't even look at that anymore. It's the same page, you know, that, you know, where the little heart is at the bottom.
Yeah.
So
I figured that's what it was.
That's where it is. So you can like switch it from seeing who's liked your stuff to see who.
I can see. Yeah, I only pay attention to who has liked my stuff when I was on social media like that.
Yeah.
But I've never been pressed to see what pages you're liking.
Exactly.
Exactly. Who has the time?
And vice versa. So my thing is that like we have a certain level of trust in our relationship to where I don't feel me liking a certain photo is going to create any type of drama.
Right.
On the other side, I know like if it's a woman that spread eagle and she all greased up with a basketball under her arm, like isn't really no purpose for me liking that picture. You understand what I'm saying? And I mean, but you know, being honest, there, you know, it's kind of like a rabbit hole. You sit there long enough and
you're gonna find what you're looking for.
Yeah, and sometimes you ain't looking for stuff and it'll pop up. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is you have to be considerate what you give time to.
Yeah, and guard your heart.
Yeah. I mean, now that's the part for me that I kind of, because one of my friends off, you know, this ain't just social media friends. One of my friends, someone I used to work with, she posted about the dangers, and I heard you read this earlier, about the dangers of social media, and you have to like take breaks away from social media because, you know, you get to comparing and whatever.
Yeah.
I know that it happens. I know people do that. I know that's a real danger, but
that's just not your struggle.
Nah, like not at all.
Yeah. I can see how, especially with Instagram, because if you click on something to see it, the next time you go to Instagram, you'll see more of that thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of these so-called enlightened memes out here that are giving terrible relationship advice about what a woman should do or should put up with and vice versa.
Yeah.
If you start reading more into that, you might start looking at your relationship and thinking, well, what's going on with my guy or girl?
Yeah. But and so there's something that's already there between you and your spouse or your significant other that kind of lights a match or strikes a chord.
Yeah, if you give the devil a foothold. So if, say, there's an issue that particular day, you've had an argument about whatever, or you're feeling a certain type of way about a conversation that you've had, and you go online, and I think especially, I'm not going to say especially women. I know for me, if I don't address an issue, I might hold on to it and I start replaying. And I remember that time that this happened. And if you come across something that kind of feeds into that, and then you start, and here's the rabbit hole, you start reading comments and you're like, well, maybe there is something to this.
Yeah.
And then, once you make that click, you'll see more of those type of memes. So it could plant a seed of whatever.
So here we go. Don't read the comments.
From people who probably aren't in a relationship.
Come on.
And don't know what a healthy relationship looks like.
Right. And sometimes people just troll,
That too.
So.
Trying to be funny.
Yeah, it's a lot of nothing.
People out here are just looking for likes.
True.
And follows.
True.
And will make up anything.
Look, it's people, and you'll see that. You start seeing, because you know how they start putting the most liked comment at the top. People out here seeking that attention.
Yeah. That validation.
So you cannot, you shouldn't allow that into your world.
Right.
Also, there are certain areas that I just don't navigate to. Shade room, no shade, but that ain't my cup of tea. So typically, I'm on there for sports. I'm on there checking out what the people that I know in real life have going on. I'm on there for financial stuff, or I'm maybe doing marital mission stuff. Did I say sports already? What else?
Funny clips.
Oh man,
you're on those a lot.
Yeah,
sending
man.
me everything that causes you to chuckle.
Hey, yeah.
Some things I'm like,
yeah.
So what you trying to say here?
I said that's funny. So yeah, it's the danger is you give too much time and energy to social media. That's the biggest danger.
Yeah.
You have to compartmentalize it. For some people, you do need to take breaks. I'll be transparent. I use social media too much. But I'm not at work trying to sneak in time. In my downtime, I'll get on it. But if I don't get on social media all day, I'm straight. I'm not out here, searching for likes. If I post something, it's because I want people that I can't connect with on a daily basis to kind of see what I got going on. But I'm not necessarily making my stuff public so it can get shared, and get more likes.
Yeah.
Hey, I stay in my lane.
Yeah, we're beyond that. We should be. Because there are grown people out here, too grown, that are doing the absolute most. And I'm like, for what?
Too old. Let's say that. Not too grown, too old.
Okay.
Now, so danger. Let's go to the DM conversation then.
Oh, okay.
You were reading an article or something earlier about social media. So DMs for me is nothing special about a DM. A DM is no different from a normal conversation that somebody having. Now, it becomes different when you treat it different. So what I mean by that is most of the time working in education, I work with mostly females. If a female teacher comes to my room and to have a conversation, I'm not going to be like, let's walk out in the hallway, but I'm not going to go sit on the desk that she's sitting on, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not going to invade spaces. I know how to... Boundaries. I know how to set boundaries and how to be respectful.
Not a lot of people do.
That's true. I know how to keep myself.
I like that.
Right.
As a married man, as a married person, you should be setting boundaries with others, and they should know where those boundaries are.
And listen, man, people, 99% of the time, if you set boundaries, people gonna respect it.
Right. Respect it or check it.
Now, I have had a coworker in the past, jokingly, in quotes, right? because she used to play around with this other guy, and he was married. Hey, whatever, that's what you do. So we were like standing around the time clock, and she just kind of like jokingly like rubbed my arm, and I was like, don't do that. Like, just straight up. I wouldn't, nasty, but don't, like, very stern, just don't do that. And then, she kind of laughed, and I was like, my wife wouldn't appreciate that.
I just got a little turned on.
Yeah. Some of the other women around there did too. But I had to let it be known. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like a person can contact me and they can direct message me if it ain't on no foolishness. And I just look, I don't get a whole bunch of friend requests now from them fake pages, but like women hit me up and that, I've never had that a whole bunch of that attention. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really had a problem ever like communicating with women, but I just never was like women just flocking to me. So on social media, I don't really get a lot of that because I don't feel like I don't attract that energy.
And I will say that I have noticed to the point where I'm like, dang, babe, you don't have to put it all like that. But you mention me a lot, and when you do it in such a humbling and amazing way, and I just want to thank you for that.
You're
because
welcome.
you don't have to do that. Not a lot of people do. So every time that you mention me, it's always like amazing and beautiful in front of it. So I think people would feel some kind of way about themselves if they tried to cross that line.
They should. It's a broad line right there. But that's how I talk in my everyday, when I talk to people at work, or when I talk to my friends, like that's how I refer to you.
Yeah.
So it's nothing new. That's what I'm saying. Like, I approach social media the same way I approach my real life. So a direct message, somebody direct messaged me yesterday, a female that I graduated college with. She was asking me about beer. She was like, hey, seem like you are an expert now. Where should I start off? I usually drink wine. I didn't think anything of it. Like, I don't get scared with direct messages because I'm as respectful in a direct message as I am anywhere else.
Now, do you think that you're pretty savvy when it comes to picking up on maybe the unsaid?
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
Even in DMs?
A DM ain't no different.
I mean, a lot is lost in translation. Like, you can't convey everything.
But if it's lost in translation and a direct message is the same as in a post, and it's the same as if I see you at the gas station.
No, because you can phrase a sentence in real life and the tone that's behind it can be felt.
Yeah, I understand
as
that.
opposed to...
I got you. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, whether it's posted on a public page or, underneath a photo, it's the same as on a direct message, as an email.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it. Now, I don't like giving the stigma behind direct message. I try not to direct message many people, or I try to have like a clear purpose. So, and that's just kind of how I am, like in real life. In certain situations, I watch how I say things. I watch the tone I use. I watch the words that I speak, because I don't know. I'm a social person, and I develop real relationships. Like if I'm cool with you, I'm cool with you. So like some of my old coworkers who are female, I call them sometimes on my way to work just to kind of check on them, see how things are going. But I always try to keep the conversation very concise and in between certain lines, so they don't think a certain thing, and so that I don't put off a certain vibe that I'm not trying to put off. You understand what I'm saying? So I approach that the same way in a direct message, right? So there was someone who had knowledge of a certain area that we was looking at probably purchasing in, right? Because I knew that person had lived there before, I direct messaged them because I don't really see them on social media a lot. And even though a person may not respond, because I'm like, okay, if I contact a young lady or young woman or whatever, and she don't respond, I understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, for me, I always think 20 steps in each direction. So it's like if I have friends who have daughters, right? I'm not a perv, but I wouldn't be mad if that person be like, well, I don't think you should babysit. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm already thinking that in my head. So it's just like I try to navigate certain spaces to where I make other people feel comfortable, and I want you to make me feel comfortable too. And anytime I feel like that line is crossed, then hey, we got either I'll separate or we have like if I feel like I can talk to you, like, hey, we go, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I feel the whole DM, that's excuse for people who already have that in their head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They'd be trying to do that in real life anyway.
Yeah.
Trying to get numbers and text message.
As a teacher, I work with young boys, young girls. There are some girls I know that their parents don't teach them when you have on a skirt, don't sit with your legs open. I just whisper in their ear, close your legs. You got on a skirt. Pull your shirt down in the back. You know what I'm saying? And keep it moving. I feel like my heart is not there. So I can approach that situation out of love. And I'm not freaked out about it. So I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I feel you. Do you feel that same way, say, and I don't, but if I had a lot of male friends and they were DMing me, would there be something there?
I don't know. I've never had that. I never had to consider that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't happen a lot. Like if it was like constantly, I can't say that I wouldn't feel a certain way, but
is that a double standard?
How?
What do you mean how?
I don't understand then what's double. Like what's the other side?
The other side is you have a lot of female friends and you communicate with them.
Not via DM.
But you call them and you text them. Now, if I had that in my life, would you?
Where you called it? No, not because I feel like if you approach just introducing your friends to me the same way that I did with you, because they know you, you know them. So in that situation, the few guys who you have introduced me to, like I don't have a problem when you have communicated with them. So no, I don't think I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the past relationship people, like befriending old loves?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
So on that, I have, over the course of our marriage, gotten rid of those people. There was a point in time when I felt like, well, my intentions are not there. But then certain people where, it may not have been like a physical connection. It may not have been like something real deep. Then I feel like if there's some value that they add now outside of what you guys had in that aspect, I think that's cool. But if it's like somebody you had physical connection with or sex with, because you can't undo that. And it's like, and especially if you have not transitioned into another phase of the relationship, and that's just, this was somebody that I mess with, and y'all kind of don't talk out of respect. Like if it's all that, then, you really shouldn't even be friends with them.
On social media.
On social media. Or
in life.
Now, speaking, if you see them, you know what I'm saying? I don't think you have to be like a jerk, but because I mean, you could be grown, you know what I'm saying, and speak to a person.
Yeah.
But taking out time to, like seeing what they got going on and seeing pictures that they post. For me, I grew to a point where I realized this is not adding value to my marriage. And we don't have anything to converse on. So yeah.
Okay.
What about you? How do you feel about that?
Once I'm done, we're done. So I've never had to remove anybody because they were removed in real life.
Yeah, I got you.
So there is no there at all.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it. Except for you. Well, even you. When I was done with you, I was done.
Yeah. You weren't, like, I ain't even know you was done. And I woke up. I'm in a relationship with nobody. So yeah,
Yeah, I've always been ruthless like that. Just the whole boundaries thing. What we got to talk about,
yeah.
So
You could have told me that we was done, but
my bad.
venting.
Ooh, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Especially if you're married. Especially if you're married, because you are still married to this person.
Yeah, but just otherwise too, don't do it, because your potential spouse gonna be looking at you with the side eye like,
and people that
mean you no good.
And even those who are in your life that people start looking at you crazy, like,
yeah,
you might want to take that offline and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's not for the benefit of anybody else.
It's healthy to have people or a person in your life that you can go to when you have certain issues or when you do just need someone to listen.
Mm-hmm.
But that person, listen to me clearly, that person should be someone who, one, values your relationship,
mm-hmm.
who is known to give good advice,
Mm-hmm.
someone who is not going to just side with you.
Yeah. Oof.
They're going, right?
No, you don't need a peanut gallery.
You need someone who's going to be objective, someone who is going to, even when you're right, still encourage you to extend grace, to go home, to talk about, like, they should be giving you tips to how to work this out with your spouse.
Right. They should want to see you win. Nobody should be encouraging you to leave.
And everybody in your life does not want to see you win. And you have to be okay with that, but you have to also identify those people so you don't confide in them when in your moments of weakness.
Yeah.
Like,
and social media is not the place to do it, because
not.
people, they just enjoy being in people's business. Can we just say that? People like to be voyeuristic and peer into other people's lives, mostly for negative reasons, so they can pick situations and people apart.
Yeah.
And for what?
It make them feel better about themselves.
Right.
Majority of the people in your life don't want to see you doing better than them. Friends, family, that, and I've even come to understand some spouses.
Really?
Really.
I want to see you win.
I want to see you win. When you win, I win.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to go. Who doesn't want to see their spouse win?
Look, we talked about this, competing?
Yeah.
It's some spouses out here competing.
I don't get it. I don't.
Look.
You're on the same team.
On the same team.
I mean, okay.
You get 20 rebounds and I get 2 assists. If we win the game, we win the game.
Hey, if you Jordan, I'm Pippen.
Hey, you can be LeBron and I can be JR.
I'd never be LeBron, but I see where you're going.
Hey, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't care.
Should have said Curry and Durant.
Well,
we not speaking on him either.
Oladipo and Lance Stevenson.
Okay.
Keep it Pacers.
Yeah, we ain't speaking on Durant. I'm still not over that. But anywho.
Venting.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Because you're still married, and then people are out here looking at you. People then think they have a right to comment on your marriage, and they really don't know what's going on except for that little snapshot that you gave.
And they do have a right once you put it out there.
Yes and no. They have a right to speak on that particular situation, but, people take that and think they can say whatever about your relationship.
You invite people in. Now, you don't have to, what we do, we're pretty open as far as certain areas of our marriage. Mm-hmm. So we invite people in.
Yeah.
Like, thank God that the majority of the people who share their sentiments on our situation and our discussions, they are positive. They offer encouragement and support. But I mean, I know everybody out there don't feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, we just have to realize that at some point in time, it may come.
Yeah.
So we invite that. They have a space to speak on it. But we make sure that we are in tune and we're together so that if that does come, like, that's not going to hinder us.
I think the issue is, don't put something out there that you haven't first agreed to, that your spouse is okay with.
Mm-hmm.
Use social media how you want to. Hopefully everybody now knows that the smiles and the good times that everybody posts are literally just snapshots of people's lives, because everybody's going through something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, use your negative times to encourage and uplift others when you're ready. If you're in it, not always when you're in it, you're ready to use that situation to bless somebody else.
True.
Wait until you get clarity and comfort on that situation before you start sharing that with social media. Again, if you need to vent, you need to do that with a close confidant who loves you and your spouse and wants to see your marriage win.
True.
Like, social media is not the place to vent at all.
At all.
Yeah, because all you're doing is you are literally, and there's a scripture for this, you're tearing down your house with your very words.
Yep.
You're tearing down the foundation of trust. Who wants to be married to somebody and go through the trials and tribulations with somebody, knowing that they're going to run at any moment's notice to social media to air their grievances about you?
Yeah. And even, just to kind of take it a step back, even when we're not on social media and you send that text message to a friend or you give that friend a phone call, trying to get advice of how do I approach this conversation with my spouse, and don't just take stuff outside your marriage or your relationship and then don't share that with your spouse. Mm-hmm. Because then you've created something with another person that you have not shared with your spouse.
Right. Especially of the opposite sex.
Yeah, especially of the opposite sex. Now, I do agree with that. Now, I can say that I don't do that. Like, even though I have female friends,
mm-hmm.
I don't go to them for marital advice.
Yeah.
And respectfully, because some of them are married. Mm-hmm. So, it goes both ways. Mm-hmm. So venting, don't do it. Reality versus virtual reality, you kind of spoke to that. Snapshots. People give snapshots. Some people are more open as far as what they share
on social media.
So sometimes you'll get a chance to see or hear of a struggle that someone may have went through, whether it was a physical struggle where someone may have had, to go through a procedure, or they may have overcame cancer.
Yeah.
And those are things
that's that sense of community. Like, you're looking for not only to put it out there to bless somebody else, but when you do that, you're creating this community of people who are either going through it or who have gone through it or know somebody who's gone through it or going through it. And I think that's what venting is. You're airing out what you're having an issue with in hopes of it landing and connecting with somebody and somebody giving you some sound advice or to talk you off the ledge, or you're looking for somebody to agree with you in that moment. But again, be careful with that.
Yeah. Now, what are some ways that we can safeguard our marriages and our relationships, given that we do use social media?
First, talk with your spouse about
boundaries,
and if you have any issues with how they're using social media, or if you really want to be proactive and build that relationship between you two, you can ask them, hey, is there anything that I'm doing that you feel uncomfortable with? Do you feel that you need an end to my quote unquote social media world? Do you feel like you're left out or anything? that would be the best route to take, to be more proactive instead of them coming to you and them telling you what's going on, because then you have a tendency to be defensive, maybe.
Yeah.
But just opening that dialogue. Hey, I just want to make sure that we're good.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I've done in the past that you haven't liked? Is there anything that you would like to see differently? Yeah, that's the approach that we should take.
I got you.
As far as communicating.
I agree with that.
Once upon a time, people didn't have to have these conversations.
Yeah.
But in 2018,
yeah,
like technology has become that influential in our lives that we need to have these conversations.
And even now they have these things where, the video disappears in a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. I don't think social media creates problems. I think it provides a different avenue and opportunity for problems to manifest themselves. I don't know. I don't know how you guys do it. Maybe you guys can share with us. I lay my phone down. I don't even think about it. Like, if I leave my phone at home, I'm not stressing. Like, what's in there?
I am only for work. And if you need to get in contact with me, I need to have it.
No. I mean, I need my phone. But what I'm saying, if I do leave it, for instance, I'm not finna drive home from work because I'm worried about you looking at my phone.
Yeah.
That
is another discussion.
Ain't it though?
Yeah, but that goes back to having the conversation. Like, if you feel the need to go through somebody's DMs, and y'all need to have that. That's a discussion of trust, not social media.
But that's where a lot of it comes from. That's what I was saying earlier about that. Now, okay. Oh, so this I don't think we spoke to this, and this is what I want to touch on this. When you come in the room and your spouse is like either closes their phone or clicks off a page.
Or sitting there grinning.
I guess so. People grin at their phone.
They sitting there, they could be looking at, you just shared, should we say this? It's on Instagram, we gonna say it. You just showed me a video of the old man looking at a half-naked woman while in church on his phone.
Oh.
He could have been sitting there with a smile on his face. If they're sitting there sitting up smiling, giggling, sniggling, and you happen to sit down next to them and they put their phone up.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess I can see where you're coming from with that. I got you.
That's a red flag to me.
I got you. Well, I'm looking at funny memes and videos, so if you see me smiling,
I don't worry about you. You know how I feel. You could cheat on me today, and okay.
What?
That's just not a concern of mine, is what I'm saying.
I got you.
I'm comfortable in our marriage. I'm not thinking about that.
I got you. So yeah, that's what I'm saying though. So like that. So if you were to come in the room though, and I constantly like close out a page or close my phone or shut my phone down, like you gonna start thinking something. It may not be the worst, but you gonna be like,
what's going on? And I'm going through that phone.
And then you're gonna go to the phone.
Yeah.
So, and we've had that over the course of our marriage. You have told me like, you know what I'm saying, you don't need to be looking at that or whatever. And so it's like, okay, I hear you. And vice versa. Sometimes I'll come in the room and I see you cut your phone off or whatever. And it may just be because you're giving me your undivided attention or whatever. But there are times I'm like,
really?
Yeah.
Really is me cutting it off to give you the time that you deserve.
And that's why I say, like, it's not me then, like, I can't wait till she put her phone down. I'm finna go look. At the moment, I'm like, what was you looking at? And then, the thought fades. But so that's something, if you do have trust issues in your relationship and, you just want to kind of keep that in mind if that happens.
That's me being mindful of, because both of us, we have a tendency, we'll plop down on the couch and get on our phones while quote unquote watching TV and not saying anything.
Yeah.
So if I cut it off, that's what that is.
Yeah. I don't know if this is necessarily social media, but kind of along the lines of phones. I realized that, I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
So I try not to download games on my phone anymore because
you get enough of it with Xbox One.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I don't need something else.
Yeah.
So I have made a conscious effort not to do it. The only game I have on there is Dominoes.
And I don't see you play that.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But now that I'm getting more into like financial, like podcasts.
I've been trying to get him on podcasts for so long.
But,
I'm so proud.
And listen, guys, like, we do the podcast, and I'm not saying that there aren't any out there, but one, for like Black podcasters, majority of the time it's going to be like pop culture.
I know, as if we need more of
entertainment.
That. Yeah.
And I typically people don't feel the same way I do about that a lot. And I haven't really found a lot of podcasters that represent me.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Beyonce.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of LeBron James. Like so that eliminates me from a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't watch reality TV. And I'm not a big movie person. Cancels me out of a lot of stuff.
But there are so much more
I hadn't found them
topics out there.
Because, like I've given people chances, but it just never really stuck.
Yeah.
So with this, I'm promoting this Journey to Lunch podcast. One of my homeboys put me up on it. He told me about it a long time ago, but you know me.
He waits till, and then he'll find something later down the line. You'll tell him about something or someone, and he'll come back. Hey, have you heard about such and such? Yeah, I told you about it like a year ago.
You still feel that way about
Ari Lennox.
Ari Lennox.
Yeah.
Hey, you got
She's
that.
not the only one though.
God,
there have been a few things that I've said. Hey, babe,
let me make
check
that
this
one
out, and
y'all. She put me up on Ari Lennox. I did not like Ari Lennox when she first introduced me to her. I am now probably one of her number.
He
top
sings
20.
her song so much, I'm annoyed by. I'm annoyed by Ari Lennox now.
Shout out Ari Lennox. Listen to her latest album, Pho.
Yeah.
But yeah.
PHO.
Dreamville. She signed to.
Yeah, J. Cole.
Yeah. But yeah, Journey to Lunch podcast. I've been, on it. Instead of, just listen to music on the way to work or listen to the radio, I'll put it on. My point is, you have to find other productive things to fill that time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really a big TV person.
Yeah. Limiting your time on social media.
Yeah.
And to devote to other
and devoting it to your spouse. Like we have to get back to, creating that space. In the house, I felt like it was different because we had upstairs. You be upstairs, then you come downstairs, we talk. But now we're in a more confined space. So sometimes you don't want to go to the room. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't want to go to the room. So the time when we would be away from each other, we're on our phones. And you may have been on your phone like when you were upstairs, and I may have been on my phone. But when we're sitting right there and we're on our phones, it's a little different.
Yeah.
So you have to be like, your marriage is going to be fluid. It's going to change. It's going to take different turns. And you have to always be in tune and intentional with where you are at that particular time.
Right.
So communicate with your spouse, time limits.
On social media.
And, shared accounts and passwords. Sometimes, we have a shared email. We have our, separate email as well. Yeah, but shared accounts,
now, is it, see, I do think that it's weird to have like on Facebook, you'll see the Sharon and Dave
Facebook
Smith.
Yeah.
It's weird to me. That's weird to me. I guess I get it if you're like you're just sharing baby pictures with family members and stuff.
And then maybe they may not use social media as frequently as we do.
That's still weird to me.
Yeah.
I get it from the standpoint of keeping in contact with, family members.
And then they may have like same friends. They may have grown up in the same neighborhood and, they have same.
Still weird.
I hear you.
I get the now, if they have the joint one, and then they have their separate ones, I get that.
But you got to think about it too. We were early settlers and adopters of social media. Mm-hmm. So did you have a Black Planet page?
Did I? I think I did.
So we've been in
I didn't get it then.
We've been in the game for what? Almost 20 years.
Since its inception.
So it would be weird for you to only have a page that is joint with mine. But I don't know, people do what's best for them.
Yeah.
But you don't even you're not really active. I'm active.
Yeah, so friends, if you don't see me on social media, it's because I deleted all of y'all. It's nothing personal. I don't do anything really with social media. Every now and then I'll discuss something political or something social or share some self-help or self-care tip, and I may share, vacation pics, but they're far few and in between. I'm like, what is this even about? I really don't keep up with this like I used to. So now I just use it for the marital mission. So nothing personal, friends and family. It's just me.
Yeah, it's just her.
It's just me doing me.
It is. Hey,
don't take it personal.
But truth be told, though, that's the same approach you kind of take to
my life,
your life outside of social media.
Very much so.
In the same way I am on social media.
Yeah, you're very social on social media because you're social in real life.
Hey,
and I am the introvert of the family.
Yeah,
so it makes sense.
It makes sense. Social media is whatever you allow it to be in your relationship. It can be a benefit or it could be a detriment. So,
and don't let it over. It's still at the end of the day a tool.
Yep.
People invest way too much in social media. Like I see these celebrities and what they do, and I'm like, y'all are arguing.
Oh yeah.
Over Twitter.
Yeah.
Y'all are good and grown.
Yeah.
Good and grown. What are you? You have a whole family out here.
Yeah.
And you're beefing with another grown man or woman.
Yep.
Over something petty.
And you see, I never got into Twitter because I felt like it's not really personal.
I'm still it's good for a laugh. Black Twitter cracks me up every now and then.
Yeah, I just never got into it.
I'll just go on if something's like trending, something funny. I'll click it and I'll get my little giggles in for the moment, and then I'm off of it.
I got you.
It's good for news, pretty much.
And like I use social media, like I say, for relationships and community.
Yeah.
So
I do like following. I do use it in that on my personal. I still have my personal pages, but I follow like brands that I like because I guess I'm just a wife that way. I like to know what new products are out so that we can use it. We can either eat it or use it in our household.
Yeah.
I like to know what restaurants have going on. So when we do go out, we have something to do. I follow people that are influential and are who out here doing things. So I can be abreast on, any initiatives they have going on. I use it in that manner to still have that sense of community, just like-minded people and brands that I like. That's what I use it for.
Something that we didn't touch on?
What?
And I guess we don't have kids right now, but it makes me think sometimes people who do have kids and how they represent themselves on social media. I'm like, you got a whole child or children.
What you mean? I feel you. Like acting foolishly?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is Father's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Specifically, my dad. Nothing else needs to be said there. My brother, Shout out to you, man. Like, so proud of you in that area of your life, man.
And the Peters men and my newly parented cousin.
Oh, yeah.
With his son.
Yep.
The second. Yep. So happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
So hold on. Let me run down. I got to run down the click. Because these people that, you know what I'm saying, I look up to as fathers. So my boy Keith in Atlanta, trio father. My homeboy, Nook, Day, Man, everybody else. Shout out to y'all.
Okay. I don't know these people. Okay. Sure. Happy Father's Day. Yeah, you're a whole parent out here.
A whole parent.
How would you feel if your parent was acting the fool?
Man.
On social media? Your kids are going to see this. Do you know that what you post on social media never really goes away? I don't care what Snapchat tells you. It is there forever. And you out here acting a donkey. Straight up. And you out here trying to do what celebrities doing.
Yeah.
They got the money to do it. And I'm looking at them crazy because I'm like, don't you have something to do besides this?
Yeah.
Too much time on your hands. That's the other thing. Find something else to do. There's so much out here to do.
Productive wise.
Yes. We got 45 out here tripping. We got our communities that need us to be active and involved.
Yeah.
So much more than what's out here.
And you can walk and chew bubble gum, but like if it's not productive, if you're not inspiring somebody to be better, if you're not challenging yourself to be better, it's enough foolishness to go around.
Yeah.
And
you don't need to put your marriage on the line for some likes.
There you go.
And then you got to be mindful that people are watching because people will try you. People will try your marriage.
Yep.
Based off of what you put out there, good or bad.
Yep. Oh, and I double back. We're talking about friend requests.
Yeah.
There do be some friend requests sometimes. And it might be like a person who's friend of somebody who recently like I followed and followed me. And especially if it's like a female, because I'm looking like, I mean, what's your... No. Because I go through the page and I'm trying to see if there's some connection there. Like, sports on here. You don't drink no beer. Nah, we straight.
Right, because people out here, there are trolls out here. They have nothing going on and they hate to see the next person doing good. So
yeah, or they just want to be all up in yours.
Yeah.
So guard yourself.
Guard your marriage. Protect your marriage.
Yep. I think that is a good place to end it.
Okay. So we like to hear your thoughts on social media. Good or bad? Has it had a real place in your relationships? And if so, let us know how. As always, you can find us on any of your favorite streaming platforms. We encourage you to share, like, and subscribe and follow wherever you can find us out here in these social media streets.
We be posted on the block.
Yeah. And you can reach out to us on email, contact@themaritalmission.com.
Yep.
You can reach us through our website, themaritalmission.com.
Yep.
You can reach us through Facebook, send us a message. We appreciate those who already have and have shared their stories. We love you. We pray that your relationships are blessed and are going well. On Instagram, you can send us messages and, we're out here trying to help And we want to hear your experiences too.
So share it with someone that you feel, may be blessed by the content.
And share this with your boo.
Definitely.
Y'all have a conversation amongst yourselves and how social media, if you haven't already had the conversation, how it plays a role in your relationship and what y'all would like to see going forward.
Indeed.
All right. Pray us out.
Yep.
All righty.
Thank you for another opportunity for us to come together to share our thoughts and our hearts with those of you who are out there. We pray that the messages that we spoke on today and the things that we discussed was relevant and that it was helpful and that your marriages will be better for it. We pray these are the blessings. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. See you next episode.